Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So as you may or may not have noticed, I've slightly altered my streaming setup a little bit. Got some new equipment in today, so I got a little camera stand for my webcam as well as a little ring light to kind of help brighten up my videos and things a little bit. So hopefully I'm gonna experiment with this a little bit, see what the best setup scenario and everything is going to be for it. But so far it seems to be working better than my old one, just because the wider screen and everything kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility of movement and things like that. Because before I used to have the webcam kind of attached to the top of my computer, which kind of limited me a little bit. So hopefully this new setup is a little bit better. We'll see kind of how it goes going forward with the future videos and streams and things like that. So like I mentioned in my channel update video, there should have been another one that dropped before this video comes out. But just a quick recap of that before we dive into this video's read-through. So like I mentioned in my last channel update video, I am going to my busy season at work. So for the next few months, video output will be a little bit lower than normal. That said, just as like kind of, I guess, a hobby thing on the side to help de-stress and everything, I still will try to do at least one or two read-throughs a week and post up for them. So for this week, the current plan right now is to do one for Yona of the Dawn, and then either Descender Volume 2 or Monsters Volume 4. That really will depend on which one I feel more like doing this week. And then next week it'll be the next volume of Yona along with either Descender or Monsters, depending on which one I do this week. But without further ado, let us dive into Yona of the Dawn Volume 5. And quick thing before I forget and we dive into this, if anyone has comments on the new streaming setup, if you think it's too different, if there's something you don't like, want to improve on, let me know. Or if you do like it and you think it's better than what I had before, then also please let me know as well, because that'll really help me kind of decide what to do going forward. But as we start with Yona, we pick up where we left off last time with the Blue Dragon's mask having fallen off, and the villagers are panicking as they go, "His mask! The Blue Dragon's mask is..." And you see one of them just crouching and say, "No!" And Yun's like, "What's the matter?" The villager's like, if you look into his eyes, you'll turn to stone." He's like, "Stone?" And he's like, "He's here to kill us all." And Yona's like, "The Blue Dragon saved my life. He isn't going to kill people for no reason." And you can see her and Yun just staring at his very reptilian looking eyes as he kind of just slowly closes them. And then you see all the villagers starting to kind of come out of their panic as Yona goes, "He closed his eyes. Is he trying to show that he means no harm?" So you see the Blue Dragon picking up his mask as he puts it back on again and ties it up. And then we have Gija going, "What are you doing here, Blue Dragon? I seem to recall you indicating your lack of interest in coming with us." So Blue Dragon goes up and he picks up an axe that someone dropped. And he slowly approaches Gija, who's kind of just got this look of, "What the hell are you trying to pull?" on his face. And you see a whoosh as he swings the axe forward, and he slams it into the wall right behind Gija with a crack. And he's like, "Yank." And he slowly just starts hammering the axe into the wall to start breaking the stones loose. Gija's like, "Oh." He's like, "Hey, if you're here to help us get free, say so. Communication is important. I was worried we were about to fight dragon to dragon." And he's like, "And why are you digging here? That way out is over there." So the Blue Dragon responds, "This spot connects to the outside." And he just taken aback for a moment because he thinks it's the first time he's heard the dragon speak. And he goes, "Going this way is faster." He's just getting annoyed again. He's like, "You have to tell people these things." And he turns around with a sigh and he's like, "Just be patient, Your Highness. We'll get us out of here." Yona's like, "I'll help too. Let me borrow this." And she just grabs a knife from one of the villagers. And he's like, oh, but... And he just like, no, saving you is our duty as dragons. And the blue dragon's kind of just cocking his head. He's like, our? And Yona's like, but I want to help too. The sooner we get out of here, the better. Gidra's like, all right then. And you see some of the villagers with masks saying, take this, I have too. It's like, I don't have anything to dig with. You see him picking up all the swords and things they have. And you see as Yun's also picked up a discarded sword as he goes, everyone else had better dig too if you want to live. What a pain. And you see a shup as Gidra's just using his giant dragon arm and just haphazardly just starting to claw away at the barrier. And Yona's thinking, Huck, are you safe? I'm coming back. I'm coming back for you. You see on the outside, Huck is just sweating as he's had the same idea as you see him trying to use his halberd to break away at the rocks. He goes, crap, it's taking so long. How deep is she buried? Not that that matters. I will save her. And you see behind him that some of the villagers are crowded around him. And he goes, what do you want? And they go, my son is trapped on the other side. My companions went searching for the blue dragon. Oh, that's Huck going. My companions went searching for the blue dragon and got buried. Are your families in the same area? And they don't respond as Huck goes, spit it out. Keeping secrets won't help you now. So they're just like, yes. He's like, Chief, if we dig from the outside. Chief's like, but. And Huck just pulls his halberd forward to point out. He goes, speak up. If you know something, let's hear it. My companions' lives are at stake. Hurry up. Sorry, but I don't have time to waste on you. And you see a thud as you see a little blue dragon's little squirrel just cutely chomping on some nuts. As you see them trying to dig away at the rocks. Yona's kind of sunk to her knees in exhaustion. He's like, I was like, I can't give up. I have to work faster and break through so we can get out of here. And as she collapses backwards with exhaustion, you see a ding as a blue dragon comes up behind her and she leans up against him. She goes, Blue Dragon. And Gidra's like, Blue Dragon, take her highness to your room. She'll be able to breathe there. And you see Gidra's also just wheezing as he's out of breath. And Yona's like, I'm fine. And the blue dragon just lifts up Yona and takes her off. And she's like, I said I'm okay. And you see him taking her back to his cave. As he lays her down, he puts his little fur cloak on her, just pats her. And she's like, I'm not cold. I'm fine, really. And the blue dragon looks around and grabs a little squirrel and puts it next to her as a little companion. She's like, and then tears start welling up in her eyes as she's like, he's so kind. So why doesn't anyone here realize that? I'm sure he came up because he was worried about the villagers. He's protected them for so long in his own way, but they still... It's not fair. So she says to him, it's not fair that you're all alone like this. I know we just met, but I want to help you. Is that presumptuous of me? And you see the blue dragon is kind of responding as he quietly lowers his head without saying anything. Yona's like, all right, I can do this. I can do more to help. And she stands up wobbling. The blue dragon's like, oh, you shouldn't get up. And Yona's like, I didn't really see the world for 15 years. Back then, I had no troubles at all. I had my own little world and my own small happiness. But that all got ripped away from me, and I learned what it's like to be hungry, how it feels to have your heart torn apart, and how we have to keep on breathing anyway. I learned that we have to keep wanting to live. My desire to live and your desire to live, no one gets to say they don't matter. So I'm going to break out of this darkness, and I swear I'll take you someplace where you can spread your arms out and just be the blue dragon you're meant to be. And the blue dragon is just amazed and taken aback and shocked by this, as he sees bells just going with the ding, and he goes, does such a place really exist? And you see Yona just taking a little fighting pose with the sword. She's like, yeah, I was like, let's do this. And then Gidra's like, your highness, you should be resting. And it's like, sheesh, can you pipe down? You're making it harder to breathe. And Yona's like, Yun, let's trade places. The blue dragon continues thinking to himself, where could I go? He's like, no, if I'm honest, I already know the answer, don't I? You see a bash, bash as they keep hammering the axe into the rock wall. He's just like, we're still not out as he's wheezing. And you see a shing and a crash as Huck just batters his way through the barrier to Yona and the rest of them. And you see he has a pickaxe in his hand. As he goes, Princess! And she's like, Huck! And you see that poor Gija's been knocked out with a bloody nose from Huck's little rock explosion as he smashed his way through. And you see on the other side, the villagers are all just, relieved that everyone is safe on the other side. And as Huck goes in to give Yona a hug, the blue dragon goes, the truth is, I realized it immediately. From the first moment I met her, I knew I could have a place in the light at her side. You see, I'm amazed you knew about that spot, Huck. Huck goes, I got the villagers to tell me about the blue dragon's room. They finally spilled their guts when their families' lives were at stake. The masks they were all wearing aren't a custom either. They're to hide the blue dragon's existence and their own expressions. Yona goes, well, thankfully they're not the kind of people who would abandon their own kin. And it's like, it's hard to stand up to fear. And you see an ee! As the blue dragon comes out, the villagers just still turn away from him or run away. And you see Huck going, he's looking this way. So what are you going to do about him? That's the dilemma, huh? Yona's like, I can't give up on him. And all of them just smile at her as they knew that's the answer they expected. So Yona's like, Blue Dragon, I'll say it again. Come with us. I want you to be with us. The blue dragon goes, you don't have to close your eyes in front of me. No. Sorry, that's Yona going, you don't have to close your eyes in front of me. Does your power really just kill people? Look how fond Owl is of you. So we see that the little squirrel is named Owl. He goes, Owl understands that you're not destructive. The blue dragon again is just like, will I really be allowed to keep living the way I am? She's reaching out to me. Is it all right to take the hand she's offering? Is it okay to trust her? And then Yona goes, thank you for everything to the villagers. As Owl just scampers up and hops onto the blue dragon's shoulder. And you see the blue dragon just looking back at the villagers who are still distrustful and afraid of him. And he just bows slightly to them. And you see a ding as the bells finally come loose from his mask and fall onto the ground. And he looks at it as he goes, I'm sorry. For leaving you alone, I'm so sorry. I'm all right now. I can call out to him now, even without the sound of the bells. I wonder if he'd smile if I told him I've made friends. I loved him so much, but I can't remember his face anymore. Oh boy. Alright, chapter 24 and on to chapter 25. As Yun goes, Gija, do you know where the next dragon is? Gija's like, let's see. The next dragon is... And you see him just slowly toppling over. And so and Yona's like, Gija? He goes, chapter 25, a name is given. So you see Gija resting on this bed of pillows that they made for him. As they go, it's probably just fatigue. He put everything he had into digging. And Yona's like, Gija, as Yun just puts a cloth, or as Huck puts a cloth on his face, and he's like, rest in peace. And Gija just gets mad. He's like, I'm not dead. He's like, my apologies. I feel so sluggish. The location of the other dragons is hazier than usual. And Yona's like, don't push yourself. And Yun goes, anyway, he's not the only one who can locate the other dragon warriors. And you see everyone just glancing over to look at the blue dragon who's still wearing his mask. As Huck's like, that's right, you're here. You're so quiet, I forgot. And Yun's like, yes, exactly. He's been here for a while. And Yona's like, Blue Dragon, can you sense the locations of the other dragon warriors. He kind of just tilts his head to the side, confused. And Huck's like, I'm guessing he doesn't know what they are. Gija's like, oh, you poor thing. I understand. It's not your fault. There's been no one to teach you. And he's putting on his whole Bishonen face, with the sparkly eyes. As he goes, I shall tell you all about the 4 dragon warriors. I'll be like your big brother now. And the blue dragon just springs away as he's just totally creeped out by Gija. Gija's like, huh? He ran away? And Huck's like, maybe he's not in the market for a brother. And you see Yona going, Blue Dragon, wait! And she follows him over to this cliff where there's a waterfall coming down, pouring down the side. And Yuna goes, a river, Fire tribe lands usually don't usually have this much water. And you have the snow runoff from the mountaintop seems to have created this waterfall. And you see the blue dragons taking off some of his accoutrements as he takes off his cloak and his sword and his pack. And he just dives into the water with a splash. And Huck and Gija are staring at him in shock as they're just like, what the hell's going on? It's like, he threw himself in? Huck's like, wow, he really must have hated you. Gija's like, Huck's like, what's your next move, White Snake? He just drowned himself. And you have Gija starting to panic, being like, is it my fault? Is it? And you have a splish as a blue dragon pulls himself out from the river, putting his mask back on. And you see him just holding up a fish as it's just kind of swaying back and forth. And they go, blue dragons? Like, wait, don't tell me. And so you see that he went... Such a nice guy. He goes up to Gija's like, eat this and get well. Gija's like, thank you, but couldn't you have also said something? Such a kind lad. Don't run off without an explanation. And after that, you see him just kind of putting his cloak back on as he starts to go and shivers. And Huck's like, now what, big brother White Snake? He's freezing. Gija's like, you're blaming me? And then you see Yun going, Blue Dragon, how'd you know this river was here? And he goes, oh, and then he taps at his eyes. And Yun's like, oh, so you have long-range vision? You've got amazing kinetic vision, too. And you see, fascinated. And you caught that fish so quickly. And then Yun's like, is it true that your eyes turn people into stone? And he kind of just shakes his head no. And then Yun goes, really? Then why do you wear that mask? And Yona's like, before we get into that, let's get a fire started so you can warm up. We can grill the fish you caught for dinner. And you see a blub as they've got a nice stew boiling away on the fire with the fish he caught, along with some vegetables. And Huck's like, miso-flavored hot pot? Looks good. Where'd you get the ingredients? And Yun's like, I traded some medicine for food in the Blue Dragon's village. I got that kettle there, too. Like, that was quick work. And you see Yuna going, oh no, Yun, bugs hurled themselves into the kettle and drowned. It's just scoop them out. Seems to be a lot of drowning today. He just like, bugs. And you see it's taken a long time for the blue dragon's clothes to dry. It's like, yeah, but... You see he's wrapped him up in this little fur cloak he has. He just kind of kneeled... He's hugged his knees to his chest, and he just curled up inside of it, just wearing his mask. And he looks like a little forest goblin. As Huck's like, what kind of goblin are we traveling with? And Yun's like, this group keeps getting weirder and weirder. Even people who aren't soldiers would turn us in. Gija's like, quiet, it's my fault the blue dragon's like that. He must feel so humiliated right now. The little author notes like, blue dragon isn't feeling anything. Yun's like, blue dragon, you better start eating before Ao eats it all. Is that squirrel a carnivore? And you see as the blue dragon's kind of just cupping the bowl in his hands, you see Ao just, slowly just slurping away at the food in it. And you see him finally taking the spoon and just munching down as it goes munch, 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 munch. He's like, ah. And Yun's like, oh, you like it? It's good, huh? Nice work, Yun. Yun's like, of course. And Yona's like, aren't you cold? Would you like my cloak? And the blue dragon's like, thank you, Yona. And everyone's just shocked and taken aback because they're just like, Yona? And he just like, did he just call her highness by her first name? What a thing for a dragon warrior to do. And Huck's like, he really did. It sounded so natural. And Yona's like, I haven't heard my name in ages. Really missed it. And Yona goes, can I call you by your first name too? And he's just silent for a moment as everyone's looking at him. And Yona goes, or you don't have one, do you? What would you like to be called? And you see him as he's contemplating this, he just starts slowly tipping over as he curls up in a little ball. Yona's like, he turned into a ball. And Huck's like, how about a furball monster? I dub thee. Then you see Yona going, hey Yun. He's like, Blue Dragon says to call him whatever we want. Do you have any ideas? And Yun goes, to me the word that best describes him is stillness. And Yona's like, stillness? And Yun goes, give him the name you think fits best. I mean, none of us drew him out of that cage-like hole. That was you. His refusal to remove the mask is probably some psychological thing, but he's starting to open up to you. And he goes up to her and goes, by the way, are you sure you're a princess, your highness? You don't flinch when the blue dragon pointed his sword at you, and you weren't scared during the cave-in. And Yona goes, no, I was scared. The blue dragon wasn't, though. And then you have Yun going, what? Don't tease me about being scared. Yona's like, I was scared too. Just thinking about it gives me the shivers. Yun's like, every time I think about it, it gets hard to breathe. And you hear off to the side, take a deep breath. It's like, okay. Yun goes, I used to think of royalty as selfish and underhanded. And he goes, I take it back. When we first met, I said some harsh things. And he's like, sorry. And Yona's like, has that been bothering you all this time? You're so cute, Yun. And Yun's just going into a tsundere mode. And he's like, what? And Yona's like, I'm gonna go get a drink of water. And as she's walking away, Yun goes, would it be okay if I used your name too? Can I call you Yona? Your highness is too long. Saying it every time is a pain. And Yona's just like, Yun, you're adorable. He's like, why would you say that? And you see as Yona's gone to the river to wash her face, she goes, how long are you going to follow me, Huck? And you see Huck's keeping watch behind her. As he goes, remember how I promised I wouldn't leave your side? And Yona's like, that was if I didn't come back safely. Look, I'm still in one piece. Don't worry, I'll be careful. And as she's walking away, Huck just grabs her hand and goes, just wait here, Yona. And then he takes off his hand and goes, your highness. And then Yona goes, Huck, I want you to keep calling me your highness. And then Huck's a little bit taken aback by this. As Yona goes, Yona and the others, it's different with them. I didn't meet them as a princess, and I'm glad they treat me as a friend. But I'd like you to still address me that way. I need you to remember that I'm King Il's daughter. Even if everyone else in the kingdom forgets, I want you, at least, to always remember me and my father. And Huck bows down, or kneels and bows to her after she finishes saying this. And he goes, when you were trapped underground, I begged His Majesty not to take you away. I asked him to leave you here and told him that was all I wanted, for you not to go. You can see Yona's just starting to have tears streaming down her face as Huck is telling her this. And he goes, trust me, I never forget for an instant that you're King Il's daughter. And as they make their way back to the camp, Yona's like, Huck, what do you think would be a good name for the blue dragon? And he's like, huh? And he goes, Mask. And Yona just swats him lightly. She's like, I'm serious. And he goes, He's like, Night? And Yona's like, Night, stillness. Let me think. Even in the dark, he's calm and warm, but he's paler and more silent than the sun. So, you see as they're cutting back, you see the blue dragon just silhouetted and illuminated by the moonlight above him. As she goes, the moon. Its light is gentler than the sun's, but it's still warm in the darkness. Sinha. And she goes, it means light of the moon. So your name is Sinha. You took my hand and led me through the dark. You're moonlight to me, Blue Dragon. Do you like it? So the Blue Dragon just gently nods. And as he's walking away, Huck's like, he doesn't like it? And you see him going and curling up next to Owl. And Yona goes, no, I think he does. And so he goes, Owl, my name is Sinha. She gave me the first name that's truly my own. I'm going to cherish it. And you see the next day, it's morning. How do you feel, Gija? And you see Gija just kind of groggily getting up as they go, Gija? And he goes, I sense the green dragon. We have chapter 26, To a New Land. I will admit it's amusing that it's almost like Pokemon right now, where Yona's just going around collecting the different dragons and adding them to her team. So you have Gija directed us toward another of the 4 dragon warriors. And they go, judging from the direction Gija pointed, the green dragon is in this vicinity. And Yun goes, but that leads us straight to the city of Saika and Hiryu Palace. We'd better take the long route along the mountains then. And you see it's in the Kai Empire, which is the Fire Kingdom. And you see Yona calling out to Sinha, going, Sinha, do you see anyone? And you see him, he's just lifted his mask off as he's peering around. And he hops back down and shakes his head no. And Yona's like, no one, huh? Okay, let's go. And Yona's like, long-range vision is incredible. Makes finding empty roads so easy. And you have Gija just going, wow, I notice you can see even farther when you take your mask off. You're certainly making yourself useful, Blue. And then Gija stops himself and goes, oh, that's right, the princess gave you a name. Sinha. It's a wonderful name. You must cherish it. The Blue Dragon just nods. As Gija continues, so listen, about the 4 dragon warriors. You have Yona continuing, Gija seems happy that Sinha's joined us. As we walked through the Firelands, everything was desolate. And then we came to a village. And you see this downtrodden, shabby-looking village with these very destitute-looking villagers, with dirty clothes that look they haven't eaten quite a while. And everyone's kind of taken aback by the poverty they're seeing. Huck's like, and Yun goes, this place was forsaken by the generals and the king. This area has been barren for several years now. There's no water. The men were probably taken away to the capital to be trained as soldiers. Sickness is everywhere, and everyone without the strength to relocate has no choice but to stay and die here. It's like awful. And I think I can't tell who's saying this, I was born in a village just like this one. The fire type, that must be Yun continuing. The fire tribe territory is vast, but most of it isn't arable. You see, despite that, General Kang Soo-jin, the chief of the fire tribe, keeps diverting money to the military. What a fool. And you have Gija just getting mad, he's like, such news reached my village too. And you see this old man that's bent over coughing with the Yona's like, are you okay? And Yun's like, stay back so you don't get sick too. And she's like, but... And you see Yun just walking over as he hands him some fruit and medicine. He goes, it's not much, but here's some medicine and water and fruit. You have the old man going, oh. And you see Yona just helping to sit up as they gave him some water to slowly sip from. And you see Yun just kind of smiling at her kindness. As the old man goes, are you people from Saika? Yun goes, no, we're travelers. And the old man goes, have you been to Kuto then? I hear a new king took the throne. I wonder what he's like. King Il was a terrible ruler. He'd always yield to pressure from other lands. His only concern was avoiding trouble. When tribes revolted and got out of control, he didn't try to help powerless citizens like us. Whose interest was he even looking after? I hope this new king will be better. Someone who will change this land. The old man looks at Yona and he goes, "Oh, thank you, young lady. It's been so long since anyone reached out to me." And you see that Yona's kind of just blanked a little bit. She's got kind of, her eyes have kind of gotten a little bit dead as she's hearing about, as she's hearing this villager just badmouth her dead father. And she goes, "I hope you get better." She just kind of rubs the tears away from her eyes. And she goes, "I'll be right back. I'm just going to the privy. Don't follow me." And she takes off. I didn't know what to say. And Yun goes, "I was among those who didn't think highly of King Eel. But to Yona, he was the only kin she had. And he thinks to himself, and now there's no one who mourns his death. History will probably judge him as a bad ruler, and no one will spare sympathy for his only daughter." And Huck goes, "It's true that a world without weapons or wars, where no one gets hurt, is just a fantasy. But the king always stuck to his ideals. Because of that, I could never think of him as a fool. He hid his wounds and stood tall. I could never think of him as a coward. I would never have served a king who I thought was a fool. My inability to protect him at Hiryu Palace is something I'll regret for the rest of my life." Yun's like, "I didn't know you respected him so much, Thunder Beast." And he goes, "It wasn't simply because he was Yona's father. King Eel was our leader. It made perfect sense." And you have Huck thinking to himself, "Even when I dismissed what Iksu said, I wanted to believe in his ideals." He thinks back to hearing, "I need you to remember." When Yona tells him, "I need you to remember that, I am King Eel's daughter." And he thinks to himself, "As if I could ever forget." And he thinks back again to Yona saying, "I want you at least to always remember me and my father." And Huck continues going, "The most splendid princess in the land is all alone now. She has nothing in the world anymore. The bond she shared with her beloved father is the only thing she still takes pride in." And you see around the corner from where the group, Huck and the others, are standing, you see Yona's just gone there with her back against the wall. She's crouched with her back against the wall as she's slowly just crying. And you see later that night as she's lying awake because she can't sleep, and she looks out at everyone, sees that they're all dozing, and she goes and picks up the bow and arrow to do some more practice. And she goes, "I have to become strong." As you hear a whip as she notches the arrow and draws back the bow again. And she goes, "I have to become strong so that I don't lose Huck and the others. I have to." And as she's drawing back, she thinks back to her father going, "Yona, you must never ever take up arms." And she just starts crying, tears streaming down her face. She thinks back, "Father." You see, in the morning we set out to find the green dragon. The location Gija pointed us to was farther than we imagined. For days we rested while walking and walked while resting. And finally, wow, it's a port town. And you see Earth Tribe, Awa Port. And Yona's like, "Huck, is that the ocean?" It's like, "I've never seen it before. It's beautiful." And you see Yun, Gija, and Sinha also all staring at it in awe, as none of them, have seen the ocean either. Wait. Yeah, you're on the camera. Yeah. Give me a minute. Let me finish this and I'll take you, okay? You have Huck going, "Awa Port of the Earth Tribe. Never thought I'd be here again. It's been an awfully long time." And they go, "You've been here before, Thunder Beast?" He's like, "Yeah, Grandpa bought me ages ago." Yona's like, "Gita, do you think the green dragon is here?" He's like, "Well, I sense his presence, but it's like he's all over the place. Tracking was making me queasy," and he just sways and falls back. Yona's like, "Gija!" Yona's like, "It seems like dragon abilities have their limits. Once Gija hits his, he wears out quickly. Well, I'd like to find the green dragon, but I'm tired from the trip here. This would be a good time to stock up on food and provisions." Yona's like, "Okay, let's head into town." And you see the little author arrows just pointing out, "Red-haired princess, Gija has bizarre-looking hand And Sinha is just plain suspicious. And Yun's like, not happening. I'm not taking you guys. Especially not you, masked man. And you see Sinha just going off to mope as he's just like, huh? And you have Huck going, then I'll go. And Yun's like, Thunder Beast? And he goes, I want to check out some weapons too. I kind of remember my way around town. And you see Huck as Yona comes up to him and goes, I want to go too. And he just looks at her and goes, you're not looking so great lately, Your Highness. And Yona's like, hey! He's just like, what? How dare you say such a thing? The princess is beautiful. And then you have Huck going, bags under your eyes, hands all scratched up. You've been overdoing it. He just pats her on the head as he goes, take some time to rest instead. Yona's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she kind of just acquiesces and goes, Huck, he's so observant it's frustrating. She goes, be really careful, okay? Someone might recognize you, Thunder Beast. Try not to make a scene. And Yuna goes, you guys should hide too. And Huck kind of tosses him his halberd to Yuna as he goes, this'll stand out, so I'll leave it here. And White Snake, and you have Gija just pulling in Sinha closer to him as they loom over Yona. He's like, you don't need to tell us. We'll protect Her Highness. Huck's, yes, that works. And he's looking as he's thinking about the blue dragon as he goes, I have a feeling that guy's pretty strong. He keeps a low profile even with the mask on. And as he's walking away, Yona kind of just grabs his back and goes, Huck, come right back. And you see him just be like, oh, the princess cares. And you see him just whistling to himself as he's in a good mood heading into the town. He goes, it's been a while since I've been someplace lively. I like to look around for a while, but I have to head back quickly. That's what Her Highness expects. You see a pretty woman coming up behind him going, hey, mister, keep a girl company? You're a handsome one. And Huck's like, sorry, no time to spare, gotta go. And you see as he's walking around, the townspeople are looking a little bit suspicious. As he goes, is it my imagination or were everyone's eyes a bit lifeless? He goes, well, whatever. I have to finish my business and head. And you hear, please stop. And you see these two men just harassing this woman in the middle of the street. As they go, what? We're government officials of Awa. Who do you think allows you to stay in business? I'll pay you well. Not a bad deal, right? And she's like, please, let me go. And Huck's like, hey, sleaze bags. Found a bunch of sleaze bags. What should I do, Yun? And he goes, and they're official, so that's even worse. For traveling alone, I do whatever I wanted. He thinks back to Yona and he goes, but I can't cause a scene now. And you see the two sleaze bags just grabbing the woman's hand going, come here, as they try to yank her away. And she's like, please, let go. Let go of me, please. Someone. Anyone. And you see on the next page, Huck's going and has smashed his fist into one of the sleazebag's faces as someone else comes in also with a flying kick to the same sleazebag's face as he goes down with a thud and a spray of blood. And the other one's like, wow, like, who are you? And Huck's like, ah, damn it. It's like, great, I got involved. And you see the pretty little newcomers like, oh, your pickup line was terrible, so I just couldn't help myself. And you see them both just looking at each other as they go, huh? Who are you? We have a look at the new arrival as we hit chapter 26 end. And I will probably cut it off there just because it's coming up on close to 40 minutes now. And I figure since I'm about halfway through this volume, I can save the other half for the next video along with the review. So it's good to be back with Yona again and her crew. Just a couple quick comments before I wrap this up. So far I'm liking this volume, and I like the different contrasting personalities of the dragon. You know, with the blue dragon being, you know, kind of more reserved, shy, and Gija kind of being more I don't want to say outlandish, more extroverted and kind of more gregarious than he is. I will say I didn't expect the conflict with the blue dragon to be wrapped up so quickly. I thought it would last a little bit longer than it did, but that's not really a huge big deal. So I'm guessing they'll kind of get into the bigger overreaching plot once they collect the rest of the dragons, which I think is what, green and red probably I think are the two left. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what the green dragon's power is and kind of what direction the series goes from here. But apart from that, like I mentioned at the start of the video, there would have been a channel update video that came out before this one dropped, kind of outlining everything I talked about at the beginning. But like I said, the general plan idea is to have 2 volumes of Yona of the Dawn, Descender and Monstrous be the series that I'll cover likely for the rest of February. So hopefully you are all looking forward to those as well. And like I mentioned at the start, if you do like the new setup, please let me know, because I really would appreciate any feedback on anything that does or doesn't work for you. Other than that, if you like my videos, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. 2020, I think my goal for the entire year would be to reach 100 subscribers. So I think that would be a big milestone for me. So I'd really appreciate all your help and support and kind of helping to do that. And until next time, this is Ash. I will talk to you all later.